Is there anything else you like before we move on to what we didn't like? Hi everyone, I'm Doug.
I'm Allie.
Yeah, we're here to talk about Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
The longer I have to digest it, the more I hate it.
Oh, really?
I enjoyed how it looked. I like the is it CGI?
That's a good thing, is that I'm not sure where the practical effects and the CGI, where they begin and end, which is really impressive. Some stuff looked so real that I'm legitimately not sure if it was or not.
Visually, it's a beautiful film.
It's great. I think that's sort of like indisputable, is that it's a really great like sci-fi world that they built.
It's the kind of atmosphere I've always wanted to watch. And I can't really remember any movies, particularly in sci-fi, where it looks that fantastic.
I'm struggling to think of some that are on that level. Not any that are so bright and beautiful. Mm-hmm. Like if you think about really great visually stunning sci-fi movies, like one of the first ones that comes to mind is Blade Runner. But Blade Runner is very dark, where this was not. This was very vibrant.
Yeah.
It's not really comparable to that kind of like visual magnificence. It's its own kind. It's its own brand. I would liken it more to, I guess, certain video games. You're a big Mass Effect fan.
I am.
And from the limited bits I've seen of Mass Effect, it seems a little more like that kind of sci-fi universe.
It depends.
Okay.
Because there are some planets in Mass Effect where it's literally a radioactive pile of rubble. And then you have other places where it's Omega or Ilium. Sorry, I guess you don't really know what I'm talking about. But it's a whole bunch of sci-fi worlds and they...
Okay, fair enough. I actually like the story in that it's got this very kind of like classic adventure film kind of quality to it. The way it plays out, it's kind of straightforward. It kind of takes place in the span of a couple days, or even maybe just one day. It's sort of like going on these sort of misadventures along the way. I could sort of see maybe some criticism toward that because it feels like maybe it's a little unfocused, but I do kind of like it. It plays out like they have a main quest and then they have to do side quests to get there. It's almost like plays out a little bit like a video game. And also, I do really like the main story as well of there's a planet where the occupants have been wiped out, and I guess almost like colonialism in space. I think the story has got some really cool things to say. There's a weird tone to the film that I think I was ready for because I'm familiar with Luc Besson.
How fancy! Say that again?
Luc Besson? He's French. I might be saying it wrong, I don't know. Particularly because I'm familiar with The Fifth Element. And The Fifth Element is a weird tone of a movie. Like, a lot of people really like it, but some people really don't for the same reasons. It's a head scratcher. It's kind of a unique film in that way. And this is a little bit like that, although I feel like they got that tone thing a little more refined. It's a little bit less extreme and a little bit less like goofy. I was prepared for a lot of those things. Is there anything else you liked?
There is, but I can't because it's too specific and it's spoiler territory.
Okay, so for the sake of non-spoilers, we'll say there's more to like. The problem with Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, it is a kind of a deeply flawed movie.
I have a lot of beef with this movie. I never once cared for the characters, and it wasn't just the safety of the characters or the amount of stakes there were. They were so insipid and uninteresting and one-dimensional.
And I assume you're talking about the two leads.
Any character, really. Well, except for the alien race that you see at the beginning.
Actually, yeah, they're kind of the characters you root for the most.
Exactly, yeah. They're smart, they're resourceful, a lot more complex than the main characters, unfortunately.
Their motivations are very clear, and there's still a lot of mystery to their story, and the more that it unveils, the more interesting they become.
I like them.
I almost kind of wish that there was more of them.
Right?
For me, one of the fatal flaws of the film is Valerian.
Oh! I could write a dissertation on the ridiculousness of his character. I've never read the comics, so I don't actually know his characteristics.
Yeah.
I don't know how he actually is. But this is the type of character I kind of wish I could punch in the face.
Valerian is played by Dane DeHaan.
I don't know if it's just the actor himself, but he looks like he's always in this state of he's about to cry.
That's pretty typical of him. He played Harry Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He was actually pretty good in Chronicle, which is sort of where he got his big start. But that was a character he was very suited to. Chronicle was kind of like an origin story for a villain, essentially. but he's not leading man material for a film of this size and scope without having to make drastic changes to the character and the script. For this character to have worked, you needed someone who was extremely charming leading man material.
Steve Trevor level.
No, yeah, actually, you know, Chris Pine might have been able to do it.
I would have watched that without any hesitation if I knew the character was like he does the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Not because like, I'm the best soldier there is, and is discount Keanu Reeves.
Oh, it does. It really sounds like he's just doing a not great Keanu Reeves impression.
I only work with my partner.
Hi.
We're a team.
Congratulations. Thank you.
I have a question. Does he always sound like that?
Mostly.
Oh no!
But I feel like it was amplified in this movie.
Oh no.
It's a very precarious character to play. You got to be a really good, strong actor to pull off the flirting that he's supposed to do, this sort of like arrogance. To make any of that charming, he does not succeed at making that charming. He just comes across as a slime ball. And, and that's really unfortunate. In The Fifth Element, Corbin Dallas has moments where he's a little bit like, there's some actions he takes that are a little bit dodgy, kind of like Valerian and the way he talks to Laureline. One of the big differences is like Bruce Willis is a good actor and really pulled it off. They feel in the moment like, oh, he made a mistake, rather than, oh, this is just how his character is.
Yeah.
The two leads in Valerian, they're no Bruce Willis and they're no Mila Jovovich. Cara Delevingne plays Laureline. She's better than Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I've never actually seen her act in anything.
Well, she was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I never watched it.
That's fine. It's a terrible, terrible movie. Like, there's times where her performance is a bit lackluster, but I kind of like the really rough around the edges girl that she played for the most part. I'm not going to harp on her too much, but there definitely were points where I felt her performance was a little weak. But sometimes it's also directorial or writing, because like it can be very hard to make bad dialogue sound good. And I don't think it was a problem with the script here per se. It may be directing or just that they're not strong actors.
You say there's nothing wrong with the script. I think the script has a lot of problems. There's nothing witty. There's nothing...
You know, well, that's the thing is that there were times where I was listening to it and I was like, this should work, but it's not working.
You don't get a lot of lines that really distinguish the characters from one another. They all seem like they could have been said by anyone. Also, the way that Valerian and Laureline talk to their superiors, it doesn't really seem like something that they would do. They automatically are up against to challenge the authority. In the military, you're bound by duty and obedience. Like, that's the whole freaking point.
They are just sort of like, just naturally very defiant, and that is very strange for the military. In a lot of movies, if somebody goes against orders, you can sort of see that it's a struggle for them to have to do that.
But they were just so quick to jump ship.
So, okay, maybe I take it back. Maybe there are big problems with the script. It's sad because I know it's been a big passion project for Luc Besson. You can tell he put a lot of work into the movie, but for all the work that he put into a lot of the stylistic elements, there's just some fundamental flaws that are just glaring problems in the film and a little bit hard to look past.
I was not a fan of the really strict gender roles they put on one another or the sexism that they added. It didn't seem very modern, at the very least.
It's true, it kind of seems like it was a script that could have been written around the same time as The Fifth Element, which was 20 years ago. There's moments in The Fifth Element when you're watching it now, you're like, I don't know about that. And I guess those moments were still in this movie 20 years later.
Like, when these moments happen, it wasn't like, oh, that's inappropriate. It was more just like, we've seen it so many times, it's really boring.
To counter that point,
yes,
at least a little bit, not fully, but at least Laureline was just as capable.
That's very true.
A warrior as Valerian. I think I'd still recommend fans of sci-fi and like really visual storytelling should check it out. I can't imagine very casual film goers really enjoying it or really. I think it's going to be really hard for people to overlook crappy lead characters.
Yeah, it's one thing to overlook Laureline, it's another to deal with Valerian, because it just reminds me of the really arrogant high school flirt, the one who isn't actually charming. And then he tries to hit on you, and then you're kind of like, please get away from me, I don't really want to talk to you.
I also might say that it's good for like people who are learning to write, like film students, because you can see the potential in the movie, and you can really break down what went right and what went wrong. And I think that that's a very valuable lesson for anyone who's really interested in film.
If you're gonna watch it, I would recommend to be the kind of person who's not gonna be overcritical of movies, because there's still a chance you can enjoy it. Apart from the visuals, the music was great. The aliens, you get to enjoy them. Some of them were really nice.
Yeah, like those three little.
They're so funny. They remind me of the Fates in Greek mythology.
Oh, totally. Well, there you go. Please like and subscribe and share with people. Thanks for watching.